Samanan, guys. I'm currently in the freezing cold Newcastle, KZN. Um, yeah, just visiting family, you know. But it's crazy because I'm constantly reminded about old me. Whenever, for those that don't know, I was born and raised in Newcastle, KZN. And coming back home to some degree feels like going backwards in time, like a time capsules, and you see some familiar faces, obviously guys that you grew up with, places that take you back to when you were like 5, 6, 7, I'm with my mom as well. So we did this thing where we drove all the way back to the school that she taught. Shout out to Hlalanati High. Hlalanati Senior Secondary. Ematadeni 4. We went back to the old house for Ematadeni. We've just been driving around, it's just that nostalgia. But again, it just takes you back to the past. And I was telling my mom a story about me driving back from work last week. And I'm driving and I'm like stuck in traffic, and I see this lady like jog walk. I don't know what you call that thing. Power run, power walk, and a very, very, very big lady. And she's walking, and I'm looking at her, and the time right, it was probably like 5 o'clock, 5:30. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh, okay, she's investing in her future. And as I was saying that, it hit me. I had an epiphany of like, no. She's actually not investing in her future. She's actually trying to clean up her past. What do I mean by that? I'm saying, Wuti, having one burger doesn't get you fat, doesn't get you big. I don't know, borrowing 50 Rand doesn't all of a sudden make you get you into debt review. What happens is that this happens, it's an accumulation over time, So if you have excess weight, it's because in your past, you've made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, to a point where instead of you being the 75 kgs that you should be, you find yourself at 110 kgs. So again, those are decisions that past you made, and that's why you're in this situation. So if you are blacklisted today, it's because of the negative things that you've done in your past. And the only way that you can fix the situation today is by cleaning up your past. People like to say, oh, just forget the past, and again, this is not a conversation on body count, ladies. So really, I've already, triggered. But it's a conversation around the importance of cleaning your past. You find yourself in current situations now where you like struggling with this or struggling with that, and it's because of shit that you haven't fixed from your past. So if you are fat now, you need to go and clean up your past first before you go and invest in a six-pack. Before you go and invest in having a bicep and a tricep that is all ripped and shaped, you first need to fix the past, the excess and all the bad decisions that you made in the past that has gotten you to this point. Before you can tell me about, this is that, I'm buying this, first go fix all the debt that you've created in the past. You look at so many people going into like relationships or whatever the case is, we're carrying a lot of trauma and pain from the past. So the reason why you're struggling in your relationship, you're struggling with your wife, is because of the situations with dynamics with your mother in the past and how she raised you. You might be struggling with your husband or your boyfriend, whatever the case is, because you start realizing that you've got issues and unresolved trauma from the past. And if you don't go all the way back, and start cleaning up your past and start realizing, look, I struggle with intimacy because, again, I was rejected when I was in grade 8. I was rejected in grade 6. I was rejected by a girl I really liked. I was rejected by my family. I was rejected by my community. They called me this. They called me all these type of things. They called me ugly. They called me this. They called me... If you haven't fixed that, you'll carry those insecurities. So you'll become one of those ladies that put thick layers of makeup. You're 35 years old, but the makeup that you put on is thicker than this than this hat I'm wearing. Because again, the deep sense of insecurity of I'm not pretty enough as I am. So you're not using makeup to enhance your natural beauty. No, you're using makeup to hide who you really are, because you're ashamed and you're embarrassed of that person. Why? You haven't dealt with all those insecurities. Meanwhile, you could be absolutely gorgeous. You could be amazing, but your insecurities stem from somewhere. So you have to do that painstaking journey. Anyone who's ever gone to therapy, the first thing they do is that they unpack the past. They try to get a context of exactly who are you and what has made you. How's your relationship with your mom? How's your relationship with your dad? How's your relationship with your brother? How's your relationship with your sister? How was school for you? Did you have friends? What type of friends were they? Were you passing? Were you good at sports? Were you good at all these things? Tell us about your foundation, your formative years. And again, it's very, very important because in your formative years, you get told things that you're good at and you get told things that you are not good at. In your formative years is when they tell you, Guti, you've actually got a big nose. In your formative years, you realize, Guti, you're actually not smart. You can't read. So you have little kids at age 5, 6, 7 being told that you need to be in that group because you're not strong enough academically. You need to be there. And it sits with them. They've done multiple studies of the kids that were in the dumb class in grade 1. Chances are they'll be in the dumb class for the most part, not everyone, for the most part, when they're in matric. Kids that were in the sporty team, the main A team in grade 1, chances are for the most part, they'll be in the top teams in matric. Again, this is just a generalization. But what it does happen is that it plants seeds on who you are, or rather who you think you are, and it shapes your future. So again, you've heard people talk about words of affirmation of you are this, you are that. Perfect, because it tells us, Guti, in your past, the seeds that were sown into your spirit were words of belief of, yes, you can. I am phenomenal. I am this. I am beautiful. I am da 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 da. And you grow up having that rich sense of understanding who you are and having a very, very strong self-confidence and understanding. I'm this amazing being. I'm driving around Newcastle and I'm seeing a lot of gents who are in the same corner that I left them 20 years ago. Same corner when I was in matric. Doing the same thing. And you realize, Muti, they stuck. There's a version of them that they can't get to. They stuck because, again, in their past, they were told, Guti, you are not going to be anything beyond. So what they need to do is that they'll need to go back into their past and maybe redo matric. Yes, you're 35. Yes, some people will call you this and call you that, and there might be a lot of laughs and giggles and whatnot. Sharp. But you've been stuck selling a mixtape for 20 years. You've been selling the same mixtape, telling us what was a popper for 20 years. Maybe tomorrow might be the day. But based on the 20 years of Gutunga Popi, we've got a good understanding Guti tomorrow will not be the day as well. So maybe you need to upgrade that matric. And maybe with that matric certificate, you can then apply and get yourself into a sound engineering program. Maybe get into a university, maybe getting a diploma, maybe study sound engineering via UNISA. I don't know what they have to offer. Maybe study something related to marketing, advertising. While you're rapping, no one is saying destroy your dream. You're also working as a sound engineer for your local radio station. You're working for your church, doing the sound in the back, understanding the different mechanics that go into making the back end of music. Maybe start marketing your degree, your music better, marketing your social media better, because now you've studied something that's actually rectified and fixing certain things. But you have to go back and fix your past. You have to, because you're stuck in the same thing, doing the exact same thing. And as Einstein said, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over. I don't call it insanity per se. I say that you are stuck. You are stuck with a certain version of yourself and you don't know how to get to that next chapter. And a lot of the time when you're stuck, look back, backpedal. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Where are you stuck? I'm stuck with my weight. I don't know how to lose weight. Let's backstep. What got you here? Oh, every day I have 6 muffins before I go to bed. Okay, now we've realized maybe let's stop that pattern. Maybe let's stop the 6 muffins. Hey, every day, so I have a quarter for breakfast. Okay, maybe let's stop that. That's the past you. Let's try and fix the past you and say, that's what I used to do. Maybe I need to stop taking quotas. Or I do a bank overdraft, because I need to send money to my girl. Maybe she's not the girl for you if she's expecting you to pay her to be in a relationship with you. Maybe that's not the girl that you need to be. Maybe let's cut that so that you don't find yourself in real financial debt and in real financial pickles that you are in. Let's go back into your past. Let's unpack that past. Let's clean up your past, whether it's spiritually, whether it's morally, people see you as a whole. Let's go back and let's fix those things. Whether it is mentally, whether, again, as I said, financially, whether it is psychologically, let's go back and unpack that past so that it unlocks and it lightens your current load, so that you can actually thrive moving forward. So that's just all I wanted to say about that. Clean up your past, guys. Clean up your past. You'll realize, Guti, it'll make you feel so much lighter. Start off with a silly exercise of going through your cupboard and finding out, Guti, what clothes have I not worn in the past 18 months? 100% you'll find clothes that you haven't worn in the past 18 months. Some of you guys' cupboards still have your clothes from like a matric dance 10 years ago. Donate that to some girl who's in grade 11 or matric and wishes that they could get that dress. Go donate that. And you're going to realize that you're going to feel good. And slowly but surely, you're going to start releasing these energies that are stuck in something as simple as your cupboard. In something as simple as your shoe cupboard, you're going to feel lighter because you're like, I haven't worn this in the past 18 months. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. Now that you've moved from your cupboard, maybe you go into your Instagram and you start looking at the things that you follow. And you're like, actually, this is changing my mind. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. And you start looking at your cupboard. I know some of you guys have goodie cupboards where Pringles, Oreo. Maybe let me get rid of those stuff as well. Then you start getting rid and cleaning up certain things that has been part of your routine for years. And part of your routine for years, allowing you to be stuck in the same space and not flourishing. And all of a sudden, you're starting to make better decisions when it comes to relationships. You start making better decisions when it comes to your career steps. You start making just better decisions overall. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Again, I'm very passionate about cleaning up your past. I'm struggling, but I am doing it. So I'm not saying it's an easy journey. I'm just saying it's a journey that is fundamental and so important for you to get to that next level, which is cleaning up your past. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please share this video far and wide. Just again, if you think other people can benefit from it, if you think that we can all learn and start these conversations. If you disagree, then disagree. Let's have that chat as respectfully as possible. Guys, please like, subscribe, do all those amazing things like hitting that notification bell. But above all, Gansanda, I'm out.